Hey, what's going on, APUSH people? We are back with Learning Objective F, topic 1.6. Today we're going to explain how and why European and Native American perspectives of others developed and changed in the period. That period being period 1 from 1491 to 1607. All right, let's begin with an APUSH test tip. It's important to understand that no two tribes, native tribes, were the same or shared the same beliefs. However, there were general differences in the views between Native Americans and Europeans, and that's what this video is going to be all about. So, different worldviews of Native Americans and Europeans. When it comes to religion, many Native Americans were polytheistic. And that's going to be contrasted with the monotheistic Christianity. So right off the bat, there's going to be a difference in religion between Native Americans and Europeans, especially the Spanish Catholics that we're talking about in period 1. Many Spanish settlers and some English that we'll talk about in Unit 2 will seek to convert natives to Christianity through the Spanish will do this through the mission system. An example that we talked about earlier is the Alamo, pictured here. That is a mission that was built to convert Native Americans to Christianity. Gender and family roles were also a significant difference between the two groups. Many Native societies were matrilineal, which means they traced their hereditary through their mother's side, and property was often inherited from their mother's side. Contrast that with property often being inherited from the father's side when it comes to Europeans. So contrast with European societies tracing hereditary through the father's side as well. Land use is another major difference between the two groups. Land was not individually owned in Native American tribes. Contrast with Europe, where wealth was determined by how much land one owned. And Europe practiced the enclosure movement, or fencing off land. This was something that was new to Native Americans when this practice of fencing off land was brought to the Americas. Now, each side is going to adapt useful aspects of each other's culture. Native Americans will do so by using technology such as the construction of forts and the flintlock rifle. And the horse that we talked about in Learning Objective B, topic 1.2, this will drastically alter life for natives in the Great Plains when it comes to hunting and traveling and chasing food, in particular the buffalo. Europeans adapted to Native American culture through new farming techniques for the different climate and soil than Europe, and new foods were introduced such as potato, maize, beans that help sustain and grow European population. Now, there will be debates over how non-Europeans should be treated. At the Valladolid debate in 1550 to 1551, this was between Bartolomé de las Casas on top and Juan de Sepulveda on the bottom. Las Casas argued for humane treatment of Native Americans. It was against enslavement of natives, whereas Sepulveda argued that natives were less than human and enslavement was justified of Native Americans. And these two sides were really representative of how many Spanish people felt during this time. Now, the justifications for subjugation of Africans and natives came through religious reasons. The curse of Ham was used as a biblical justification for slavery. Culturally, many Europeans saw natives and Africans as savages or less than human, and that allowed the subjugation and therefore allowed the subjugation of Africans and natives. And then racial, there were theories during this time that human races were different origins. And this was used to subjugate natives and African Americans. All right, so your part 2 for this video, I want you to compare and contrast worldviews of natives and Europeans. And the chart below, compare and contrast the similarities and differences of Native Americans and Europeans in their worldviews. All right, guys, look forward to see you back here for Learning Objective G, topic 1.7. This is the end of period 1. We're going to do a little essay outline to help prepare you for writing in APUSH. And this topic will cover everything, be a nice recap of Unit 1. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Best of luck on all your exams, especially the one in May, and have a good day.